It looks like it's within one card of Shuhei's list, or not Yuya's list from
Maybe
Kuala Lumpur.
they're all maybe they're all the same list. That's very possible.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it started. So Brandon, red green aggro, starts off no mana creature, which is pretty. He needs to have a play on by turn 2, so he will be trying to do that. Brandon's has 2 Daybreak Rangers in the main deck. They're fairly strong. They're good as off a turn 1 mana bird. On turn 3, they're okay in the matchup. It's a card that really is great the earlier you play it. Alright, so I would expect a Strangleroot Geist out of Brandon here. And there he is.
Yep.
Knocks Lewis down to 18.
And that's actually pretty hard for a Delver deck. Turn 2
Strangleroot Geist is very good. Both players, I believe, they're at X1 right now. So actually, this is an elimination match, pretty much.
Already, in round 5.
Yep.
Strong players.
All right, no plays by Lewis representing Mana Leak, but, you know, Brandon, no need to really... Brandon can just make a land drop. I would see no reason to enable Lewis's Mana Leak at this point. I would probably just beat him up some more.
Especially if you have, like, a Galvanic Blast in your hand or something like that.
Right.
I don't think he does.
Your worry is that Lewis will end-step snag your guy. Okay, Brandon will just go for a second Geist. That's got to get Mana Leaked if he has it, and it does. Swings for 2. Brandon, I believe, had spied a 3rd Geist. So in that case, I do like the play of playing into the counter spell.
It also looks like he has a Green Sun Zenith in hand.
All right, and and Lewis will play a Geist of his own. This one is of Saint's Traft. All right. Gives Brandon an opportunity to resolve something like Huntmaster here, though, which would be backbreakingly good. Brandon seems to have 2 more lands, so he's a little heavy on land right now. He's going to have to just keep pressure on. He does have a Zenith. He could Zenith for Daybreak Ranger, but Daybreak Ranger not very good against Geist of St. Traft.
No, I think here he's probably just going to play another Geist.
He's gonna Zenith up a Geist.
Okay.
I don't know if he has the. He must not have the Geist.
Wonder what that other card in his hand is.
One's Mountain. I'm not sure what the other one is. The question is whether or not Brandon swings both of them. I'm pretty loath to race a Geist of St. Traft. To try to race a Geist of St. Traft, even with 2 Strangleroot Geists.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why the card is so powerful, Geist, St. Traft, because you just... And here, this is a little rough, too, because he opens himself up to get Vapor snagged here.
Right. Would you have to assume Lewis is, like, a pretty good bet to have, and he does. Because, I mean, he hasn't been playing anything else this game. You have to think, he's keeping the hand for something. This, to me, brings me back a little bit. Well, I guess... If Brandon had the 4th green, I almost wouldn't have played the Geist into the Mana Leak last turn, because then you can just drop double Geist.
Mm-hmm.
Force Lewis to do something. Draw by Brandon. Lewis now representing more counter spells. And it's another land. He can try to Zenith for Huntmaster. It's pretty ambitious. See if it gets met with anything. Is that going to work?
Oh, wow.
And it is.
Works.
Okay. That's very good. He's going to...
Very good.
Getting Huntmaster. It's like almost... Huntmaster and Geist are almost the only things you Zenith for in the deck, which I actually really like. It's kind of just a split card. It's Geist. It's green Geist, or like green red 2 Huntmaster.
Yeah, it's a wild card.
Which is fine. It's very good.
I mean, sometimes you just... sometimes you can just do Green Sun on turn 2, and then it lets you have Huntmaster for turn 3. If you have a multiple Huntmaster hand.
Mm-hmm. Brandon will go up to 15. And Huntmaster, a big problem for Delver decks. Lewis does... Is that... No, it's a Haunt and play, yeah. No black in his deck. Alright, so knocking us down to 12. Lewis has a Gut Shot. He could play Gut Shot, Snapcaster, Gut Shot. If he has it, he will almost certainly do it. And I think that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that card has to be kept off the battlefield. So Lewis
taking
down to 8. Is it 8?
I think it's 8.
Okay. life total becoming a problem. He's going to play Pike, Pike Geist, and he's going to go aggressive with it, which I like.
I like that play a lot. I mean, I think that's really what he has to do here.
And then looking at blocks, he's going to he'll throw the wolf under the bus. Okay.
Taking 4, going to
Yeah,
11.
I feel like does Brandon have another Hunt Master? Is that what's going on here? He has another Geist. So Brandon, a Metamorph would be a good draw. That Angel token's not actually there. He has Strangleroot. I don't know the last card. Strangleroot Huntmaster would be very fabulous.
Yeah, Strangleroot Huntmaster would be a pretty good turn.
Yeah.
Strangleroot Metamorph, also a very good turn.
There you go. Yep, now the Angel leaves the battlefield eventually. Tough play. Remember, Brandon does have another land, so he's gonna... But he doesn't need to reveal what's going on yet. So, okay. Strangleroot Geist is cast.
Is that a Metamorph?
The last card's hand, I think it's either Metamorph, it might be a Kessig Wolf run. If it's a Metamorph, I still don't think... I mean, well, I suppose he can take a hit from the Snapcaster, that's probably fine. The Pike will still be significant.
Lewis going down to 4 here. And a Metamorph, copying that. Going to bring Brandon down to 9. Putting him in a little bit of a dangerous situation. Depends how well Lewis can chain this turn, but...
Right, yeah, Lewis, so at 4 with 2 Geists, kind of scary. Brandon, I like how Brandon's hiding his last card right now. It is a, well...
It's just a land,
yeah,
right?
it's a land. The only reason you'd play it is to make your Kessig Wolf run, your potential Kessig Wolf run bigger, but the Kessig Wolf run is still lethal right now.
It's lethal anyway.
So that's why I like
I mean, at this point, like, the only reason he would have played it, he would have essentially, like, gaining 2 to play it, because he wouldn't have had to pay the 2 life for the Metamorph, but
yeah.
Please make your way up to the main event stage right now.
That doesn't change the race math with the Pike at all.
Right. So that's yeah, that's why I think it's a good bluff.
For that event is $30.
Brennan falling to 7 here from this attack.
And 4 packs of the Dark Ascension. Again, this is last call for our 2-headed Giant Seal tournament. Please make your way to the main event stage now.
Yeah, now Brandon can turn both these guys sideways because, I mean, it'll force Lewis to use more Land Haunt or to have some other type of effect.
Right. Okay, Snapcaster. He does have another Vapor Snag. So actually, that's fairly good here.
Yeah, I think that might just be it.
No, it'll put Brandon to 6.
Brandon goes 6, then he goes...
Because if he Vapor Snags a Strangleroot Geist...
Oh, it makes his Pike less powerful and...
Well, he's giving... Okay, he's giving the Snag flashback. The problem is he's going to give Brandon a blocker.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think he's going to do is end step Snag Geist and take the damage. Block here, let it undie, take the damage, end step Snag it to deny Brandon a blocker.
Seems to make sense.
Which if that's what he does, it's a great play. I think it gets him too. But Brandon does have another play. He has Acidic Slime for the Pike. That's incredibly strong.
That's really good here. It's about as good as it could have been.
All right.
So.
All right, that's going to put Lewis really on a back foot here.
Lewis decided to use the Vapor Snag on the Acidic Slime. It seems strange to unsummon something with a 187 ability, but
you have
when
to,
it costs more mana than everything else, then it's kind of your only shot.
Yeah, he's going to swing with Snapcaster. Brandon will just take. That's fine. And Geist of St. Traft, Delver of Secrets, say go. All right, Lewis still in the game. Brandon now at 5. Lewis is hoping Well, he's gonna have to make some pretty awkward trades here.
Yeah.
Especially if Brandon, I think if Brandon, you slime the Moorland to haunt. I think you do that. You could actually slime Lewis off white, which might be better than hitting the haunt. Because that effectively does hit the haunt, too.
And it prevents him from like playing like a Geist off the top or...
So, yep, he blocks both, keeps himself alive. Brandon now makes the land. And slimes up the... Let's see which one he chooses. I think it's the Plains.
Yeah, I mean...
Lewis might draw a Geist. I mean, the other options, I don't know. I guess the other option is the haunt. Because then he can't have another blocker. He's going to play it safe and get the haunt. Drop birds, it's just his whole hand, pass the turn. Does Lewis have anything? Yes or no? Spectral Flight. No, that wouldn't even work here. Okay, I'm trying to think of cards that would win that exist. Invisible Stalker. We'll buy him a turn. Not much more though. Okay, Kessig Wolf Run.
That will not buy him a turn.
Okay,
yeah.
Brandon Nelson gets the first game.
Yeah, he drew quite a few lands there. Well played by Lewis Kaplan. Found a way out of that game.
Both
you know,
players playing really strong. I especially like the play, which stops people. You fall into the trap of when Snapcaster's cast, you want to cast the spell he gives you. But I like is the Snapcasting the Vapor Snag and then waiting to end step snag a guy. Like that's a really nice find.
It's something that comes up surprisingly often when you're playing with Snapcaster Mage.
So yeah, I really like those kind of plays. Sideboard wise. So Lewis will probably, he has an extra Dungeon Geist in his board, which is typically brought in here. I know that card usually gets played on, and sort of, well, probably not sort of anything really. Phantasmal Image is usually boarded in.
Brandon has a Stinger Flying Spider in his sideboard.
Whoa, that's going pretty deep there.
Hey, I mean, if that thing gets on the table, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, for sure.
You can kill Delver on its way down, and then it just becomes this impenetrable force.
For sure.
Invisible Stalker gets through even the most impenetrable.
Can still get past
blockades.
even a 2/5.
Yeah.
Even 5 cannot stop Invisible Stalker.
Invisible Stalker is kind of a strange card.
Well, I think from a design point, it's very hard to find someone who's really happy with Invisible Stalker.
I do not like it.
I don't think anyone does. Like, one of the best parts, the most fun things about Magic is interaction, and Invisible Stalker just has none of it. You only have to lose to it so many times. I mean, even in drafting, it's really good.
Yeah, in the limited format and sealed format, it was one of the most frustrating parts of that format for me was Invisible Stalker. You can't beat it. There are so many decks where you just will not have an answer for it.
Right, and I think that's one of the problems. Yeah. So the red-green aggro decks, I want to discuss a little bit about some of the builds of them. I like the lists that are not running Hellrider. I feel like there was this universal adoption of Hellrider, which maybe it's not because I never made the adoption, but I would like to talk a little bit about the builds and, like, I don't know. I
like Hellrider.
Okay. The things that...
I mean, Hellrider gives the deck it's a lot of damage.
Let's talk about what it's costing you, first of all. What Hellrider costs you is it usually costs you some number of Metamorph, or, like, either additional... It will cost you... You have to shave some burn spells or additional creatures to make room for Hellrider.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest issue I have, there's two things I have with it. The first is it really means you can't run, it limits the number of Kessig Wolf runs you can run. It makes your mana base a little worse, though your mana base is still probably fine. The second thing I have about it is that it's another 4-drop, and I'm not totally sure why we need that.
Huntmaster's pretty good for.
Huntmaster's is the best for. Even list with Hellrider, Huntmaster's just, he's it. He's the deck, you know. He and Geist are the deck. They're the best of it. I think the biggest thing is that Howl Rider, to me, I think there are cheaper options that accomplish the same thing. I don't know, sure he's a fine card, but like there's a limit to how much 4 I really want.
Yeah, I mean, generally you don't want to be playing a deck that's playing 8 4-drops.
Yeah, you're an aggro deck, and you don't want, I would rather, Sword is kind of like a 4-drop as well.
Well, Sword can almost be considered, Sword's nice because it's a 3-drop and a 5-drop.
Right.
It accomplishes, a top end and like a medium.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing a good job of arguing against Howl Rider. Other than that, I think that the better options, what the deck really struggles from is that, okay.
Do you like Daybreak Ranger?
Only out of the board.
Okay.
It's good against other creature decks, but on the draw, I think the card's just not strong enough. On the play, it's okay. I think, here's my philosophy, I think, with the deck, is that where the deck is good and where it suffers kind of is that it wants to have a threat on turn 2 of most games. I think if it doesn't, it has trouble, like it has a lot of good mana creatures, and it has Strangleroot Geist, who's great. But outside of like that, the red 2s and 3s are pretty weak in the format. If you try to think of your best ones, you're going to be disappointed. Predator Ooze, Chandra's Phoenix, Skin Shifter, it's really, red has some gaps at 2 and 3. So the deck has 1s, it has Strangleroot Geist, and it has 4s. And I think what you need to do is maximize your amount of turn 2 threats rather than trying to maximize your number of 4s. Because if you don't have turn 2 threats, you don't want to get to turn 4 and have your opponent still be at 20, and the deck does that sometimes. And I think that's why I don't like Howl Rider, is that he doesn't advance. He doesn't stop that problem from happening. All right, both players here. Brandon, see a Huntmaster in his hand. I don't see many lands. Maybe dude, he has a bird. Yeah, Brandon's gonna draw 3 more cards and then shuffle.
Take a quick Ancestor Recall. See how it ended up.
See how it ended up. What I liked about it is that he drew 3 cards and didn't even look at them and just started shuffling again. It's like, It's like, I'm gonna look at these. They were cards. Okay. Both players appear to be mulliganing though, so 6-on-6 battle. I don't think that particularly favors one deck or the other. Actually, both of them mulligan. I think about the same. If they go to 5s, Delver is probably better off because they don't play 4-drops. But
I think Delver's just better at mulliganing than red-green is. The deck just costs less mana. Generally speaking.
Not by much, but yeah, I guess so. Because the red-green also produces more mana, so it's like kind of a wash.
Yeah, but I mean, you're spending cards to produce that mana, and like if your
That's
mana
true.
guy got shotted or something, then it leads you to like, especially on mulligans, like a lot of
You
times
could
end
get
up
stuck
keeping
more.
Yeah,
That's probably correct.
I still think the matchup is in favor of red-green aggro, even when they're both on 6.
Yeah, I mean, the cool part about the matchup is that it's not that much in favor of red-green aggro.
And when Delver's on the play,
it doesn't really have a bad matchup.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close to even. Red-green might be slightly favored, but
Yeah. On the play, I'd say Delver's even or better against everything. That's like why. I mean, when it hits on all cylinders, it's quite.
well,
a
when
deck.
it hits on all cylinders, it's
Nothing
just
to do. Yeah.
it's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up. All right, so Island from Lewis, Forest from Brandon, second land Pike from Lewis, and as I saw before, like these are kind of hands Delver wants to avoid. Ones with, I usually said I want a Delver or a Mana Leak in most of my openers, and this has neither. But Brandon really doesn't have anything either. He goes land, crag, go. So Lewis will
dropped his hand in his lap.
decided to switch it for some of the cards he had under the table.
So we can see it's still the same cards in his hand.
Lewis with no plays. He does have Mana Leak, but no third land, so just a lonely Pike sitting there. This has got to favor Brandon. I believe Brandon has Daybreak Ranger in his hand. Yeah, he definitely has a Daybreak Ranger. He may try for it here. I mean, it's pretty clear there's a Mana Leak. He'll go for it, and yeah, that has to get leaked.
Good eye.
Lewis is gonna. All right, third land, maybe a Geist or something. No, just third land, go. So the problem with Delver is when it doesn't have these kinds of hands are dangers because they look really good. I have all these Mana Leaks, but you need a threat or your deck. The problem is
You're playing
Lewis,
unsummons.
He's not. Yeah, you're playing unsummons. If you're not ahead, you're playing unsummons. That card's bad.
Yeah. I agree. It's funny, like, yeah, you're playing like Mana Leaks and stuff, which are
Those are good cards.
just
sure.
good, even if you are playing a control game. But
see, now he's in this position where he has to counter everything Brandon does. Brandon's anything for 2, and it's like, oh god, he's gonna let that resolve. But you know, that's bad.
yeah, Strangleroot Geist, bringing the beats.
All right, Brandon has a clock. Lewis goes to 18. And then a forest from Brandon, so yes, he's at 4 lands. Lewis draws. Is that Batterskull? You do?
Maybe.
He does have 1 on the board. Remember, this is an elimination match, or since both players already have 1 loss. We're in round 5, 9 rounds today. We'll be playing top 8 today, top 4, and finals tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Make sure you tune in for that.
You know,
We're giving away some free premium tonight.
Free premium tonight.
And tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you know, yeah. Skip Easter morning, come watch Magic. Phantasmal Image on Geist. I like that play a lot. Though it does
Great
take
play.
down Mana Leak, which is gotta be uncomfortable from Lewis's side. He's got, you know, no Hunt Master, no Hunt Master, no Hunt Master right now. It'll be, I think if Brandon can resolve a Hunt Master right now, it'll be very hard for Lewis to come back. Nope, just another Geist. Okay, that we can deal with. Now, interestingly enough, if Brandon had attacked, didn't want to block. Okay, the Geist was tapped. Remember, if there was no second Geist on the board, Lewis would be unable to make a trade on the block there.
Now, with the Kessig Wolf run, Brandon, on Lewis's end step, will be able to target the Phantasmal Image with Kessig Wolf run.
Yeah.
It'll come back as a Strangleroot Geist, but then he can just target it again and kill it.
Yeah, that's.
So he just gets to, like, pick up a free card.
Remember, it's not real. If you poke it, it goes away.
Yeah.
It might hit like it's real, but it's not.
It looks like it's real.
All right, he's gonna swing. Yeah, Brandon's just. Okay, Brandon's gonna take it.
It's just 2 damage. Maybe he has a burn spell in hand. He doesn't know if.
I think he just thought it's okay.
Oh, okay. Never mind. He didn't.
I think he just didn't see it, but now he did see it, so it undies. It's a 3/2. Might just give it another little poke.
So now he has seen it.
He has seen it, and he's gonna getting ready. Poke it again. Another land. Brandon looks to have a pair of Brimstone Volleys in his hand, which is interesting. I actually typically side those out against Delver, but I mean, here they're going to be fabulous. They're all. I mean, Lewis is at 14.
Yeah, he's basically at like 4.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Unsummon's not very good when you don't have any pressure.
Right. It's unsummoned. That's not a good card by itself. I mean, it is a good. It's a really interesting card. It falls in the trap of not being good, because when you play in a situation like this, it's awful. And Dungeon Geists. All right.
That's a pretty good one.
That's actually great. But if Brandon...
The problem is Brimstone Volley is going to take care of it on the end step.
I think that is Brimstone. Yeah, there we go. Throw Brimstone at it. Brandon doesn't need any threats that aren't the Strangleroot Geists. Between them and Kessig Wolf Run, he's just poised to be able to deal enough damage. 10 and 15. All right, Brandon's going to knock him down to 6. I don't see Lewis getting out of this one.
No.
And a Hunt Master. Okay, now I really don't see him getting out of this one. Brandon goes to 17, makes Hunt Master of the Fells. And his hand has another Brimstone Volley in it. Oh. So Lewis is essentially at... Lewis is at 6 right now. Really at -4 on the next turn. I don't see how Lewis makes it through Brandon's next turn, actually.
Image Huntmaster, gain 2. Still not good enough. Brimstone Volley does a lot of damage. Kessig Wolf Run does a lot of damage.
All Alright,
Vapor
play
Snags
snap.
the wolf token.
All right. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's just
He's
dead.
just dead. Oh, Brandon can just wolf run a creature here and say go.
Yeah.
And that should be enough. I mean, Lewis could have a Vapor Snag, which would, I guess, prolong the game. But Brandon drops to 14 off the Vapor Snag. Not really an issue, though.
Yeah, that 1 point not really going to do too much.
It's going to Metamorph the Strangleroot, guys. And just go for it. I think that's the play. Metamorph Snapcaster Mage. Oh goodness, targeting Brimstone Volley. Okay, that is yet another way to win, and Lewis will concede. Brandon Nelson defeats Lewis Kaplan 2 games to 0.
Yeah.
I like how he won it. I feel like that's winning in style.
That is a style win.
Like yeah, I'll get your Snapcaster,
your
my
Brimstone Volley.
There are plenty of other ways. So Brandon stays at advances to 4-1. Lewis falls to 3-2 and likely out of contention for top 8.
Actually, I won a game of Limited that way once. I